Leetcode video. Today we have count servers that communicate. It says you're giving a map of a server center represented by m times n matrix, where 1 means there's a server, 0 means there's not a server. Return the number of servers that can communicate with any other server. And it says 2 servers are said to communicate if they are on the same row or they're on the same column, right? So basically we need, for example, these 2 are on the same row, these 2 are on the same column, so they can communicate with each other. So the result is 4. This one is not, it's isolated, so the result is 0 for that, right? Return the number of servers that can communicate with any other server. So intuition-wise, the first thing I thought about when solving this problem is, okay, let's count the number of servers for each row and column, and iterate on them. And if we find out that a server has a friend in its column or a friend in its row, then that means that server can communicate with any other server, basically. So if we make the counts, so for example, I'll explain as I go with the code, right? We get the row count and the column count, right? And then we iterate. If we find out there is a server, we're going to increment the row count and column count respectively for each column and row. That means this column has found a server, and so has this row. And then we have the server count is 0. And then we iterate over the whole array again. If we find the server, right? If we find the server, let's say, for example, we found this one right here. And we're going to check the row count. Is the row count greater than or equal 1? Because we don't want to count itself, right? We don't want to count this one. If it's greater than or equal 1, anyone. So because the answer says it needs to communicate with any other server, literally any server. So if this one if there's anyone on any other server on the same row or any other server on the same column, we increment server count. So in our case, we have this buddy right here. So we're going to increment by 1 server count, right? But for example, this one, we have none. It's just 1 for the row and the column, so we don't. And then we return server count respectively. So yeah, time complexity is n times n, row times column, basically. Yeah, that's been it for this one, guys. See you in the next one.